Yeah, let's talk about Facebook ads because I think you have a philosophy when it comes to Facebook ads that sort of dovetails with what you were alluding to, is essentially going
Yeah.
wide before going deep. So can you share a little bit? Maybe let's talk about this from the top down, how you approach Facebook ads, and maybe would recommend Amazon sellers do so as well.
Yeah, that was a good catch by you. So, I was talking like strategy, kind of like brand product, but that's exactly how I think about Facebook ads, where it's basically an algorithm, and the way you navigate it is you kind of have to be better than the other advertisers. And initially, all that means is clicks and cost per click. Initially, very important word. Later on, you're going to worry about purchases and add to carts and like that, like customer experience. But initially, it's about engagement and getting somebody to click or engage with the ad. So Facebook like drives down the cost and things like, all right, this is a good ad. People are engaging with it. Like it's a good Facebook user experience. So let's make the cost lower for this advertiser. So now we can show it to more people at the same cost. But to do that, like we go like a wide strategy, but very quick. So there's like you can go a wide strategy and be like take a long time, and a lot of agencies do this where like all right, like in 2 weeks we'll find out the results of which ads are working, which audience. I'm like no, let's find out in like literally like half a day or like a couple of days for sure. And what that means is just having more variations of whatever you're testing. Like at the beginning, I was saying the headlines example, but with images, just have one headline, like hang anything anywhere. That's kind of like just your general headline, but then like 10 different images and have one where you just kind of like take your phone, like your iPhone, take a picture of the product. So, and it's like a weird angle. So like, if you're looking at the camera, like let's say it's like this, like you can't tell what it is, but you're like, oh, that kind of looks like a carabiner or something, some sort of tool. Or like this, where let's see, where you can like kind of tell what it is, but not really. So like
Hmm.
some sort of like curiosity image, just as an example. It doesn't have to be like a highly produced image. Do that as well, but it's all part of your test. So have like 10 images for sure, or 10 variants, but then really fast turn off the bottom performing ones. That best one might not have 5% click-through rates, but that best one is going to be better than your other one. So you kind of like narrow down very fast. Then you do the testing with copy. Then you do the testing with audience as well. If you're testing different categories, kind of like narrow down very fast, and then you combine the winners.
So
And when you combine,
well, I was just going to ask you. You ask, so you actually isolate specific. So it'll be like winner of the pictures, and then who's next would go winner of the copy. Is that kind of how you parse out each step of that testing?
yeah, exactly. So everything is constant, like meaning the same, and just one factor is different. So I'm like being very scientific here, kind of like from my scientific background, is that like image the same, audience the same, and even like you don't put automatic placement because it's gonna go onto like Instagram, desktop, mobile. Just pick one initially. Pick like mobile newsfeed or desktop newsfeed, and then everything else is the same. It's just like the same headline, but the images vary. Or let's say if you're like testing like videos, it's hard because there's so much pictures in the video, there's so much variety, but you could test the music on the video or the thumbnail on the video or like the first 3 seconds on the video. Usually we find the winning image and then we make that the thumbnail, or we make that like the first 2 seconds of the video because it's the same thing as what people see initially. So kind of like the image testing gets you that data quicker. Yeah, so it's like it's very controlled. You isolate it, and this is what happened to us a year ago, and like this still works. And it's basically when you're combining the winners is when like that magical aspect happens, where we had like 3% click-through rates on some of our best images, but that was using like general headlines when we were testing, and then our copy like a whole bunch of variety. Like some was like very basic. It's like hang your backpack anywhere, compared to something like first of a kind clip. Some things are going to work better, and like are like 2 to 3% were our best copy. But when we combined the best copy and the best images, that's where we had some click-through rates over 10%. And I think it's because you're like combining the best of both worlds, because it's basically like psychological triggers that happen to the Facebook user. They're like, all right, the image catches their attention because of like the colors or whatever is in it or the curiosity, and then the copy like drives them into click it. So you kind of have like the best of both, like testing that and then combining the winners, but choosing the winners really quickly. Even if you spend, let's say, $20, like total on the entire campaign in one day, and that's split across like 10 different ads. That's not a lot because it's like $2 per ad, but the crappy ads are going to have 0 clicks. The okay ads are going to have like 0 or 1 click, but then the best ones might have like 5 clicks or something like that, or like 10 clicks. So you're going to see that cost per click even at a very small level, but you have to have that variety to see that variation of 5 clicks versus 1 click. And then, of course, with a larger sample size, if you spend $1,000 for the testing, you know, that's going to be 20 clicks versus 700 clicks or whatever those numbers are. You'll see that difference even bigger and consistently day to day. But just like be very quick in making those decisions of cutting off the variance.